Here's some of my bread making tips I told you I would share with you. Now that you've got that Bread Alone book, I know that there's probably some really awesome recipes that you'll be checking out. What Debbie and I found out that when we first got that book is that there was really small quantities of flour available in the store in those little dinky bags that just did not keep up with our demand for the amount of bread that we were going to bake. So we found a food co-op, or we had to turn to a food co-op that was selling white unbleached flour and grain flour in 25 to 50 pound bags. The co-op that we go through that delivers locally to us is called Country Life Natural Foods. You may be able to go online and see where they deliver. Maybe they might be servicing your area, or you might find a co-op that works in your area through one of your local churches, and maybe people get together and order through the co-op through the church, and they get their food that way. What we found out is buying either the wheat grain itself or the white unbleached flour, we had to come up with a way to store it and keep it somewhat fresh and sealed properly to keep undesirables out of it. And so it was suggested to use a 5-gallon bucket that's made out of food grade plastic, and it works out really well. So hey, come over here and I'll show you what one of those look like. This is a 5-gallon bucket, like I was saying. You get the bucket and the lids separately through the co-op. The lid itself has like another tearaway strip that you'll have to tear off from this edge, and what you're able to do is take a rubber hammer and just hit, with enough force to put the lid, onto the bucket itself, and it'll seal it. What you want to notice is at these little round holes, do not cut these tabs on the lid itself, because what that does is that flares this edge, and then it does not keep a tight enough seal on the bucket itself. Underneath the edge is a rubber O-ring gasket that seals it nice and tight. Another item that you'll have to order when you get the bucket itself is one of these clamp hooks. And what that does is that clamp fits on the edge of the bucket itself, and you go ahead and pry up on it and pry up around the edge of the bucket itself, and the lid comes off. I would suggest that it does take some force to pry the lid off itself, so do it on the floor and put it between your feet and get a hold of it, or have your husband do it. Okay, let's look at this grain here that we got. My wife found out that she likes using a blend of wheat and the white winter wheat and the red wheat. So this is it in raw form, and this is what we store, and then we wind up grinding this for our bread recipes itself. You'll have to go ahead and do your homework. If you wind up grinding your flour itself, get a decent grinder. This one that we have here is called the Grain Master, and we've had that ever since we've been baking bread, and it's held up really well. I'll give you a demonstration. You may want to adjust your volume on your computer, because this thing sounds like a Learjet when it starts up. So contact.
So there you go. Grain going in, flour going out. Now let's check it out and see. There you go. Freshly ground wheat flour, just ready for that favorite recipe of yours from Bread Alone. What we also found out is we had to go and make sure that you buy a really good bread mixing machine, or just a heavy-duty mixer itself. This particular one is a Bosch, and we use this one strictly just for mixing bread dough itself. It comes with a pair of whips and also a bread hook. And like I said, we bought this thing just for mixing up the bread dough itself, because when we usually make between like 3 to 5 loaves at a time, it fills up this this bowl capacity pretty well. So it takes a lot of abuse when it's mixing up that flour itself. Getting that dough ready for the oven. Okay, one other thing that is useful is in baking your bread. We found out that we make several loaves at a time. So through the co-op again, we went and bought some plastic storage bags, food grade storage bags. These are of the 2 mil thickness. This particular one is 6 inch by 3 by 15. We found out that putting the bread in these bags, closing it up, a little twist tie, putting it in the freezer, it doesn't, you don't get a buildup of any freezer frost at all. Bread comes out, once it's thawed out, it's just like it came out of the oven. So hopefully some of this was helpful for you. Enjoy the book, enjoy the bread. See ya.